Hey guys, here we go into uh, the keys to victory for Gennady Golovkin for his upcoming fight for the rematch for Canelo. If you haven't caught the film studies on the fights, check them out. They'll be in the playlist. I've done rounds 1 through 8. There are a lot of fantastic and really interesting intricacies of this fight, the timings, the traps, the traps on traps, really interesting stuff. But if you like my content, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. If you leave like really crazy comments, if you say anything racist, you're out of here. If you say anything like derogatory or something that you don't include arguments with your statements, you're out of here. Just have a conversation, and I'm more than happy to have a conversation with you guys. I love talking boxing. But if you appreciate my content, like, comment, and subscribe. Hit me up on Patreon. Shoot me $1. And support responsibly. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter and all that jazz. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. This one's going to be short. It's going to be sweet. It's a little less complex than Canelo's. Canelo's main goal for this fight is going to be to control Golovkin, to keep Golovkin on the outside, to keep Golovkin fainted, to keep giving Golovkin different looks so Golovkin doesn't know how to counter or set his own punches up. Golovkin basically wants to do the same thing that he did in the first fight. I thought he won the fight by a pretty wide margin. I'm not upset about the draw. That's fine. There were some times where Canelo was able to kind of really shine or really stop Golovkin from looking as effective as he was. But let's go ahead and talk about some of the things that Golovkin did do well. The probing was a big thing for Golovkin. He landed his biggest punches throughout the course of the fight. And as you can see here, he's going to lean in right here, and he's going to get Canelo to fly back like this, thinking that a right hand is coming. Then he's going to throw this probing left hook to the body. And notice how Canelo, he ducks down and he tries to block the body shot as if it's a real punch. And what Gennady Golovkin is doing is he's faking that punch to get Canelo to commit to blocking it. Boom, so he can land that right hand over the top, because when you catch the left hand to the body or the left hand upstairs, right? When you catch it, boom, boom, you're taking your shoulders, you're going from your sideways stance, right, to keep your body small, to squaring up to block the shot, to turn your elbow into it. You don't just move your elbow into it. You have to turn and catch the shot on your arm. And what he does when he does that is he turns into the right hand, and Golovkin is able to control Canelo and walk him into that shot by faking the left hand to the body, and getting Canelo to do what he wants. And that was the biggest source of his big shots in the fight, as we'll see in this next clip right here, where he lands the big right hand in the fifth round. He comes forward, he gets his gloves up, he's feinting him, shoots a jab. Then he shoots another jab, and look at how he throws this last jab out there. Let's just go ahead and watch it again. So real jab, realish jab, and see that third one? How he just kind of tosses it out there just a little bit? He's baiting Canelo. What he's doing is he's looking for Canelo to release a punch or to throw a punch and attack so that he can set up an appropriate counterpunch. So Golovkin is obviously expecting the jab to come out. So he slips to the outside instead of rolling, and he comes over the top with the right hand. Canelo does give him a left hook, but as you see, he's able to turn off of the left hook just enough and bait that hand away from Canelo, and also bait Canelo out of position, right? Now, you're out of position anytime that you commit to an offense or you commit to a motion, you commit to a move, right? And hearkening back to the previous scene, right? That left hook that Golovkin came in, wow. Right? He got Canelo, and he wasn't transitioning his weight. He's just throwing it. His weight's still on his back leg, so he can turn into that right hand. What he's doing is he's getting Canelo to commit to a weight transfer and transfer his weight to catch the left hook, because you turn your hips when you turn your upper body to catch it, and then walk him into that right hand. Now, he's doing the exact same thing here to Canelo by shooting the jab, and then probing, and he's getting Canelo to commit to an attack that puts himself out of position, not in position to defend the right hand and land it right there. Fantastic probing and a fantastic ability to use his feints and use his probing punches to get Canelo out of position so that he can land more powerful shots more consistently. And that's going to be, obviously, that's going to be his bread and butter in this fight, as Canelo's really going to come to fight. And the fact that Canelo, he doesn't really use probing punches. Every time he lets his hand go from his head, he's going to be committing to something. You know, whether it's flashing out and then he takes a step forward so he can throw a combination, or he's throwing a hard jab, or he's throwing a left hook, or he's throwing a hard right hand. He always commits to his offense. So he's really susceptible to this kind of attacks. Now, the next key to victory for Canelo, or for Golovkin, is punching with Canelo. Now, maybe that sounds counterintuitive, maybe because Canelo is so fast, but there were so many scenes during the course of the fight. Sorry, went a little too far back. There were so many scenes in the fight with him and Canelo where Canelo was flashing out like this and throwing a combination and getting credit for landing punches, as you see here. Does he land the body shot? No. Does he land the left hand? No. He doesn't land either of those punches, but they look flashy. They're really fast, and Canelo breathes out when he throws the punches. It's really hard for the judges to tell if they landed, if they just connected a little bit, right? Maybe he did land that right hand to the body. Do we know right now? No, we can't feel it. So it's really difficult. And the speed, the flashiness of it, it really gives Canelo an edge when it comes to scoring his blows, because they look so clean, they look so sharp. But one thing I want to talk about real quick is one of the reasons he'll be able to punch with Canelo, and we'll show a little more, I'll show a few more examples. A lot of times when Canelo shoots his jab right here, so he shoots that jab, and then he takes this really wide step, right? And then he starts throwing a combination. And that's usually the giveaway for him committing to offense or doing more than just jabbing. He doesn't do it in this next scene. He shoots the jab right here and then goes to the body. He's not really shooting a jab. It's more of a feint, and he's doing it while he's walking forward. But as you see, he's still stepping forward and then, boom, coming in with that shot. And as you see here, it looks really great. He comes forward with the body shot. We can't tell if it lands. I assume that one does. But then he throws the left hook, and it completely misses. But in real time, it's going to be very difficult to tell if you're a judge on the other side of the ring, right? Maybe this guy right here is the judge. Maybe this guy is, or any of these people could be the judge, and they're like, oh, damn, that was so fast. They don't know. And it allows Canelo to pile up points during the course of the fight. Again, shooting the jab. And look at that wide step that he took. Just watch Canelo's feet real quick on this next one. I don't know why it goes back so far when it's in slow-mo. But Canelo's going to shoot the jab. Watch where his foot is right now. He shoots the jab. And look at how far his foot comes when he throws the combination. He lands the right hand to the body. And then the left hand kind of touches him upstairs. And then it looks like the last right hand misses. But it all looks really flashy and really impressive, and it's really fast. It's really hard to score. You don't know which ones land. You don't know which ones don't. And if you're biased one way, you'll say he landed them all. If you're biased the other way, you'll say he didn't land any. But let's say that you just try to be unbiased. Try, right? And you give him credit for half of them. He just got credit for 2 punches he may or may not have landed because it's so hard to score. Now, Canelo did do a good job with his combination punching. It was a great strategy for him, for sure, regardless of whether or not how many of them landed or what. But Golovkin really needs to take that away from Canelo, because it was the biggest source of his offense. And the biggest reason why people said that he lost was because Canelo was able to throw those punches. Now, Golovkin, what he needs to do, and if you notice, at the beginning of each of these combinations, Canelo starts with a jab. You know, he starts with a jab. Starts with a jab. Starts with a jab. Every single one starts with the jab. So Golovkin's going to need to punch with him and not only take away his jab with the counter over the right, but also using his own jab and using his own left hooks. And as you see here, Canelo goes to shoot that jab, and boom, Golovkin counters him with his own jab as well, punching with him. Looks like he punches him maybe in the chest, but punching with him stops him from punching in combination. You have him feinting here. Now Canelo's going to commit to this jab. Golovkin slips it to the inside while, now watch Canelo's feet when he throws this jab. Look at how far forward he goes on the second one. He always does the second hop when he's going to commit to punches, right? And Golovkin slips to the inside and throws a bunch of punches. One of them lands. Then the second one looks like it lands right there. But he punches with Canelo, and it stops Canelo from taking that second hop forward and then landing those punches. And then again, Canelo starts shooting the jab, and Golovkin's able to catch him and keep him from throwing punches and combinations. Again, catching him when he comes forward and just constantly keeping his glove in Canelo's face because Canelo absolutely does not want to punch with Golovkin. And then there's just some jabs right there. But you can see after those combinations, Canelo's hesitance to committing to combinations after Golovkin commits to punching with him. And then again, punching with Canelo. When Canelo shoots that jab right there, going around the guard and using the left hook, doing anything that he can, throwing any punch that he can, again, to stop Canelo from being as effective with his unanswered combination punches. Now in this sequence, you can see Canelo coming forward, throwing his combination, and then immediately when Golovkin starts moving back, he starts punching in between with Golovkin or with Canelo, and then is able to land this right hand. Now this is a perfect right hand, but Canelo kind of turns his head away. It was one of his strategies for avoiding punches in the first fight. But as you can see, boom, it lands, and Canelo's head just flies down. But as you can see, it makes the flurries that Canelo has in the fight much less effective and much less flashy. And again, boom, a beautiful shot right here. Canelo looking to come forward with a combination. Golovkin slipping it, countering with his own left and countering with his own right there, and stopping Canelo from looking nearly as effective with his combination punching as he did when Golovkin wasn't responding at all. When Golovkin was just moving back, even though Golovkin was able to pick off a lot of those shots, do a lot of really good things, Canelo was getting a lot of credit for it because it's so hard, because he's so fast. And then the third key to victory for Golovkin to beat Canelo is to go to the body. Now, a lot of people think that just means throwing random punches to the body. Number one, I don't think that Golovkin should be throwing the left hook to the body. Canelo primarily escaped out to his left throughout the entire fight. He never moved to his right, ever. And now while that meant moving into Golovkin's right hand, I think Golovkin, and now this is, not tinfoil hat, but there was a scene in between fights, I can't find it anywhere, where Reynoso was talking to the referee saying that Golovkin punches on the back of the head, and he demonstrates that Canelo's going to turn away from a shot and then get hit on the back of the head. And they were trying to talk the referee into calling those punches illegal because Canelo turns his head. As you saw in the last clip, Canelo turns his head and gets popped right in the back of the head. And as you see here, when he turns away from the right hand, look at how far he turns away from his opponent. If he gets hit in the back of the head there. So that means that it looked like his strategy in the first fight was to never move to his right, or never to move to Golovkin's left, and always move to Golovkin's right and kind of turn into those right hands. And hopefully he used the referee to take the right hands away. Now, enough with the tinfoil hat part. And if anybody can find the full fight or the full pay-per-view card and go through it and watch it, or tell me where it is so I can go through the 3.5 hours, I'll do it so I can post a video about it because it's 100% there. Anyway, getting back on topic, now while Golovkin did have some success with the right hand over the top, and I'll show some clips of that as well, look at how easily Canelo is able to pull away from the right hand, whereas he opens up his body completely to a right hand to the body. Boom, right? Again, shooting the jab. As soon as Canelo moves that jab away, Golovkin shows his cards, right, looking to go over the top of the jab with his right hand. Again, looking to make Canelo pay for that, but the body doesn't go anywhere. As you see in this scene, right, he could have landed a right hand to the body instead. And again, this one's not as clear because he's so far away, but look at how well Canelo is moving away from the right hand, where he's not going to have that much leeway when it comes to the body. Again, Canelo turning away, getting away from the right hand to the head, and opening and exposing his body right there. Again, turning and moving away and easily getting away from the right hand. Now Golovkin really needs to switch this up and go to the body. And again, this is a great clip right here. Canelo, see how he kind of gets touched on the cheek with this right hand? Stays there, gives Golovkin a, nah, that was nothing, right? That was nothing. You ain't got nothing. What you got from me, bruh? Come at me, bruh. Come at me. And stays on the ropes, kind of starts parrying the shots, catching them, and kind of playing with Golovkin. You know, not really. Golovkin's looking to figure him out as well, so they're both figuring each other out. But in this next scene, he shoots the right hand to the body, and Canelo thinks it's going to be a right hand to the head because he's been headhunting, and he pulls away, eats that right hand to the body, and then immediately moves off the ropes and says, that's nothing. That's nothing. But notice after he eats the first right hand kind of on the cheek and gives him that no, he stays on the ropes. But right after he eats that body shot, he gets off as soon as he can. And then again, Golovkin shooting the right hand, Canelo looking to turn away from it and eating a body shot again, and then Canelo pushes him away. There's supposed to be another clip in here. Anyway, I'll just play the clip. Again, the probing, super important for Golovkin. It was his main source of offense, getting and baiting Canelo into opening up, baiting Canelo into committing to an action before he does, committing to a weight transfer, boom, so he can land some big shots, and punching with Canelo. You know, keeping Canelo from being able to use his speed advantage. I don't think it's as dramatic as people think. Just because the fact that Canelo was coming in and opening up with these combinations, people give him this huge speed advantage. But punching with Canelo to take that avenue of offense away from Canelo is going to be very important. Limiting Canelo's offense so that Canelo has less opportunities to look good in front of the judges, to score points and to win rounds. Because I don't think that Canelo has what it takes to knock Golovkin out. Now, there's a caveat to this. And I might do a video if you guys are interested, let me know in the comments below. But there's video of Canelo training before the first fight and then training after the fight and just looking so much better, really turning his punches over, really turning into those shots, really doing a great job in perfecting his technique and getting power. I actually think he's going to have a lot more power in this fight than he did in the first fight. I still don't think he's going to be able to knock Golovkin out. But he might really actually be able to get Golovkin's respect. But if there's any interest in me analyzing those videos side by side, without my stupid ugly mug in the video, let me know in the comments and I'll do it. You know what? Fuck it. I'll do it anyway. I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that one tomorrow. I have another interesting video about... if you look, well, I don't want to spoil anybody watching my videos. They're going to do the video before me, but I'm going to do that video too. It's really interesting. But anyway, Golovkin needs to punch with Canelo and stop him from being able to rack up points and steal rounds with his flurries. Effective flurries and ineffective flurries. They're both very difficult to score. Boom, again, punching with Canelo is going to be very important. And then going to the body, not aiming all his punches, his right hands to the head. Canelo's not going to give him, see how Canelo moves under the right hand, and see how Canelo always moves to Golovkin's right. He never moves into the left hook because he doesn't want to get hit to the body, and I think that's going to be consistent. So going to the right hand to the body and hurting Canelo into the left hook is going to be very important. Yeah, those are my keys to victory for Canelo, or for Golovkin. Obviously, his jab is important. We know that. Footwork and timing. His timing is impeccable. All that stuff is important. But these are the things that I think he needs to add on to everything that he did in the first fight. Obviously, he did do the probing and stuff, which is great. And if he abandons that, he has no chance of beating Canelo. Um, but but those are the things that he needs to do in addition to everything that he did in the first fight to get a victory in this fight. I think everyone probably knows who I'm picking, but I'll still be doing a prediction video. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of video film in there because, to be honest, and for those of you that have been like asking how to watch fights the way that I do and break them down and figure out the patterns and all this stuff, I have watched the first 8 rounds of this fight 20 times. 20 times. You got to go through everything that's going on in the fight. Every time someone lands a punch, you have to go back, or a significant strike or something, you have to figure out why they landed it. Every single right hand that Golovkin lands in this fight is not a free punch. He doesn't land that punch just because Canelo was being lazy, or Canelo is a bad fighter, or Canelo's a fantastic fighter. I mean, I might give him a little shit, when we talk about the intricacies, the levels, right? But he's not just going to let some guy with KO power just ever touch him with one of those gloves. Never. You have to work at this level, you have to work for every goddamn punch you get. So every single punch means something. Every single one. So you just got to watch the fights over and over and over again and figure it out. Figure out what they're doing. Watch them at the beginning of the fight. Watch their movements. Watch how they probe. Watch which ways they slip. Figure out, from what position, what punches they're able to throw from what position. And then think about that every time they put themselves into that position. Think about what punches they're trying to set up. And then once they start letting their hands go, or if they're baiting a shot, or if they're looking to counter, to pay attention to that kind of stuff, and you just got to watch the fight over and over and over and over and over again until you find the patterns, until you see things emerge that are very similar to each other. And then once you see those things, you figure them out. And then you start to move on and see how the fight progresses. But you got to kind of get a base layer for what's going on in the fight before you can start figuring out how each fighter is evolving during the course of the fight. Now, anyway, a little bit of a rant. But yeah, for all those of you that are looking for, that kind of eye for the fights, I've let's see. Let me see. 3.1415926535897932384626433832795028841971671058 2795028419716939937510582. I think that's right, but I think that's pi to 52 digits. I have a really good memory. I'm pretty sure that's right. Man, I might have messed up. I don't know, but I have a really good memory, so having a good memory helps. Yeah. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. If there's anything in the video that you guys, any other keys to victory, anything that you think that I missed. If you guys know any interesting facts or any interesting stuff about the fight, I've got a couple of non-film study, I've got one at least non-film study video coming out tomorrow probably. Maybe I'll do 2 videos tomorrow. I don't know. Man, I don't know. Lennox, I'm coming for you. Man, that's going to be my favorite clip of all time of anything. Mike Tyson's interview after he beats that guy, calls out Lennox Lewis, motherfucker, such a bad motherfucker.